Welcome back here to Borio's. Both look like we got similar haircut right now.
Pretty much. Shining a little bit more.
I have to shine mine a little bit. I got a little bit of hair on top, but Dan Tortora here from Dan Tortora Broadcast Media, longtime sportscaster for you. Rob Drummond, longtime football player, Syracuse, NFL, CFL. Now the man that started RAPS, which will soon become, if it hasn't in many places already, the criteria that you are going to see recruits look at when someone's going to look for football, softball, basketball, whatever it may be, they're going to be coming after those numbers from RAPS to figure out who are the best players to come to their school. So this is the man that created it, so get to know him now. And you make sure you go check out RAPS online and on wakeupcalldt.com. You can also get information on it. We're live here from Borio's once again, 8891 McDonnells Parkway in Cicero, New York. Here with a very exciting crowd tonight. It's busy. There's a wedding going on behind us. Everybody's sitting out here having a good time. The football season is right around the corner. Camp is coming to an end. And we did the offense. Now we're going to work on the defense with you and take a look at the defensive line, something that's a good prelude to the season, but what we say now can also stand up throughout the season. As a couple of years ago when I said Darrell Eskridge was a guy to watch, and nobody was watching him at the time, and who he's become now has been huge. So we're going to start with the defensive side of it and look at the defensive line and start off with some of the guys that are coming back, some of the veterans, Micah Robinson and Robert Welsh on the defensive end part of it, and what you take away from those guys so far, because they've gotten their opportunity in rotation, but now there's nobody else in front of them.
You know, the simple fact I look at is the exodus, or I won't say exodus, or the great upcoming of Bromley. You know, the simple fact that he got drafted by the Giants is in the NFL now. And as I said last week, you know, for the simple fact that it's as Coach Mack said, you know what, out with the old, in with the new. You know, these young men have to step up now, and now it's their time to shine. You know, you can't sit there and, as I said, rest on your laurels and sit there and be like, okay, we did good last year, we did good at this position. It's like, you know what, it's time for the defensive line to stand up. It's time for these guys to make plays, and it's time for these guys to go out there and prove to everyone what Syracuse University football is about.
Robert Welsh is a guy that he got opportunities in rotation. Micah Robinson is a guy who's really made a name for himself and could play multiple places, but these are the guys that Syracuse is really looking to step up. But behind the both of them is Ron Thompson, who I was told will play for, this is from Tim Dowse, the defensive line coach, told me that Ron Thompson, who came in as a tight end, was switched over last season to defensive end, will play nose tackle, will play defensive end, and will play defensive tackle. One of the most versatile guys, if not the most versatile guy on Syracuse's defensive line. What can you say about Ron Thompson, knowing that this is a guy that was learning the position last year, and he's made, quite frankly, potentially the biggest jump of anybody on defense?
One thing I can say about Thompson is the simple fact that his versatility will be his big advantage, not just this year, but going through the rest of his career. You know, that's one thing I had. I mean, my problem was I was so versatile. I could go from wide receiver, the free safety, the outside linebacker, to a running back. You know, so my versatility allowed me to be able to be on the field. Thompson's biggest asset, who's going to make him plug in and be a great stalwart for Syracuse this year, is his versatility.
When you have somebody like Ron Thompson that switched over and was successful, when you think about guys that have switched from offense to defense or vice versa, is he one of the most successful stories that you can say as of, you know, guys that you've known? Because sometimes a guy will flip receiver to safety and disappear, or, you know, I mean, in his case, he's really jumped up from where he was.
Well, I think when guys switch position, you know, if I'm an offensive guy and I switch to defense, I understand the offensive position a little bit better now because I've got offense. So I think Thompson's advantage is that he understands the tight end position. So now when he goes to the defensive line, he understands how the down blocks or how the linemen are perceived to come at him, you know, and things of that nature. So he gets it from both angles. You know, he understands what he's supposed to do on defense, but he also understands what he's supposed to do on offense and how it's done. So it gives him a huge advantage.
On the inside of the line, there is no more Jay Bromley. Zan Jones, who was a JUCO transfer, he got some time in there. He's not here anymore. So you look at Marcus Coleman, who I talked to Tim Dowse a lot about, and also Isaiah Johnson, who is only in his second year. He played as a true freshman in rotation last year. But he's really a guy that Dowse wanted more out of, and now he needs more out of because he's one of the guys that's going to be trusted in this position. Have you been able to see anything of worth with somebody like Isaiah Zeke Johnson at this point?
Not one man has done, or one player has stood out in my opinion, but the simple fact is basically all these young men have to basically go out there and make plays as a football player. There's no name that's set to the forefront right now, and that could be a good thing, that could be a bad thing. But for a young team, I think it's a good thing, and that's a good thing for Syracuse University. They have a lot of expectations to live up to what Bromley did last year. But I think these young men can do it. They just have to go out there and just basically play as a unit, play as a team, just play football.
Wayne Williams came onto the team. It took him some time to get here. Had to go through a lot of hurdles. Tim Dow said that the Wayne Williams that he had come in the spring and the Wayne Williams he got in the fall were different. Started to get the respect of the Robert Welches and the Micah Robinsons of this team, the veteran guys. Got his weight down, came in, willing to learn, willing to push, willing to fight. Somebody like a Wayne Williams who it's taken so long to get here, Dow said that his adversity and his hurdles have allowed him to be so successful. Do you think that all of these hurdles before the season are only going to help him once he finally gets on the field because he's had to fight so many battles that not everybody has to do?
The one thing I always say, and it's a motto I live by, is just that, we learn from our mistakes. And not so much that Wayne Williams made many mistakes, but it's like he lived through adversity. He lived through the simple fact that when he came in, he wasn't the player he thought that they thought that he was, but he's made himself into the athlete that they think he is now. And now they're giving him respect because of his capabilities. He just has to go out here, relax, and do the things that they thought highly of him coming into this university. And just go out there and play football now. As I said before, he's his own worst enemy as any athlete, but he has a lot to prove, not just to his team, but to himself.
When you look at the Clemsons and the Florida States of the world, Louisville's coming in. They're in the same division as Syracuse now. How do you view Syracuse's defensive line, knowing that they lost a few guys, but they still have some of those vets? Do you think that they can hold up with this? Because a lot of that the pass defense, rushing the quarterback, getting after the quarterback, a lot of that was Jay Bromley. If it wasn't a sack, it was a hurry. He was doing things that I feel like don't ever show up on a stat sheet, and he was always effective. You said there's only one game he wasn't effective, was Maryland, but Florida State, Clemson. How does this defensive line match up when you still have those same teams, but you don't have Jay Bromley?
They have a lot of history to live up to. They're just not playing for themselves. They're playing for the former university players, the same university players that played there also. So, I know they can get it done because Syracuse University's defense is always known for its toughness. It's been on great style attitude. And it's been able to go out there and play with reckless abandon. These guys have a tough role being in the ACC. When I played, we were independent. If you guys gave to me, it was a Big East. Now they're in the ACC. These teams are going to run at you. And last year proved that you put your mind to it, you get a group of guys that are ready to go out there and run around like a pack of wild dogs. As Ron Saylor once said, it's like, you can play the game of football. And that's all they have to do. Get back to the old style of Syracuse University football, which for me is smash mouth football, just like the Big Ten.
Tim Dowse to finish up with the defensive line. Chandler Jones came through here. Jay Bromley's come through here. Successful guys, Arthur Jones, successful guys on this team and successful guys under Tim Dowse. What can you say about him as a coach that you feel like he brings to this program? Because you know it and I know it. There's talent everywhere, but there still has to be some teaching to that talent to make that talent reach their potential.
You know what? For me, it's Coach Dowse. It's a never say die attitude. To be able to go out there and expect an athlete to just want more for himself. It's just that I can take any talented athlete. I can take any non-talented athlete and put you out there and just let you make plays. But when I challenge you to go out there and want more for yourself, you get that hunger, you get that desire, you get that fire to be able to go out there and not just prove to me as a coach, not just prove to a community of Syracuse, but to prove to yourself you are as good as a person we thought when we first brought you here. So just go out there and play like this. He's got a knack of being able to get these kids to go out there and just relax and just play the game of football. It's not rocket science. Just line up. Buddy Ryan used to say, when I was with the Philadelphia Eagles, guys, that's how we're going to play this game. We're going to line up. We're going to put our knuckles down. When they say hike, we're going to bring it up to their throat, and that's how we're going to play this game. I used to wonder what he was talking about that. All he was talking about was being a tough, hard-nosed, hardcore football player for 60 minutes, and that's how he won games.
Tim Dowse, defensive line. You heard Rob Drummond of Syracuse, the NFL and the CFL, talk about what this team needs to do and break it down to a very easy science. You have to play hard-nosed, tough football. You can't give up. Nobody on the other side of you even if it is the former national champion Florida State, can ever shake you. It didn't happen to Jay Bromley. Now these guys have to learn from a veteran that a lot of them had an opportunity to play with. With Rob Drummond, I'm Dan Tortora of Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. We're live at Borio's, 8891 McDonnells Parkway in Cicero, New York, and we will be here all throughout the entire Syracuse football season. We continue the rest of our preseason prelude coming up.